I've been for the last 2 years. For the last year or so. I've been trying to get a job, but again, coming back to the issue of discrimination, and also there not being many blind people who would actually go out and try and find a job. The employers aren't really experienced and don't really know how to deal with it here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really they don't really have a basis for how to work with a blind person type thing. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah, this is a problem this is an excuse that employers are using all over the world to
Yeah.
discriminate against, and it's really not, and it's not okay. Even just being on the island of Bermuda, that's not a reason to not hire you. That's not an excuse. I mean, statistically, could there be less jobs on Bermuda? Probably, but that's still not appropriate. I mean, that's very, very interesting. So, I mean, obviously, every country has basically any job, but what are some of the main jobs on Bermuda these days?
Hmm.
Hello? Hello?
I'm here. I'm just
Oh, okay.
thinking.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No problem.
Bermuda is the way that Bermuda is. It's kind of like the Switzerland of the Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of companies come here to set up their home base
Mm-hmm.
because of the way that taxes work.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of rumors about that, but a lot of the rumors that Americans have heard about Bermuda and banking and taxes, a lot of that's not true. Do you want to tell us? Do you want to summarize like the truth about that? What's really going on?
Well, from what I don't really know much about it, so I can't really say much. But just the way that everything looks here, the way that the things I see here, a lot of big companies from the U.S. and around the world have offices here. Like we
Hmm.
have here in Bermuda, we've got like one of our main banks is HSBC,
Yeah,
which is a
Canadian,
pretty
I
big
believe.
bank, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Um, but it's just like a lot of you look around, and the thing is, Bermuda, we don't have any American franchises here. Like we don't have Starbucks, we don't have McDonald's, we don't have any of that here.
Whoa, you don't wait a minute. Whoa, you don't have Starbucks?
No.
Oh, that's a problem. I can't come then. Fine, forget it. I mean, McDonald's you can live without, but Starbucks, no, 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 no. We got
The
we got to
closest
fix
thing
that.
we have to an American food chain is KFC.
Oh, that you don't need. Okay, that's really unhealthy. In my opinion, that's something you don't need. In my opinion. Oh boy, that's interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, very, 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 very entertaining. Yes.
We
Mm-hmm.
had American food chains here. We had McDonald's and stuff like that here during World War II. But once
Hmm.
the war ended, they kicked them all out.
I see. I
They
see.
kicked all the
Mm-hmm.
food chains out.
Hmm. Well, I mean, have you ever approached any of these Canadian franchises or Canadian companies and showed them your CV and said, "Look, I'm blind, I need a job." Basically, have you done that? Have you tried?
No, not no.
I
I
see.
have I've had one job before, and it was really it was a 2 day part-time job
Mm-hmm.
where I was working in an office. I was unboxing catalogs,
Hmm.
putting flyers in. I was unboxing the catalogs from the warehouse, putting flyers in the catalogs, and then reboxing them to be sent out to different offices around the island.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for about 2 days, and that's something that I could do. Like one common thing that people would say about a blind person that is not true is that blind people can't do hard labor
Hmm.
or any form of physical labor.
Right. But it is true.
which
Blind people can
is,
do hard labor.
yeah, it's a common misconception. People think that blind people can't do hard labor or any form of physical labor.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's funny the stereotypes that are placed on blind people that aren't placed on people with other disabilities.
Well, it's ironic. It is ironic, yes. But
I mean, I can answer the phone better. I can answer the phone as best as anybody else can.
sure, why not? Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
there's a job I was trying to get a job as working in a call center,
Mm-hmm.
but I never got a call back from there. So I don't know what happened with that.
Right. Right. I
Yeah.
see. And what type of, what type of call center was it? Out of
Um,
curiosity.
one of our local phone companies here.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
As, yeah. But the main issue for a lot of jobs here is, will the accessibility software be able to mesh with their system? Because some systems used here and some used around the world, the uh, Jaws and Nova Reader and all those types of stuff,
Mm-hmm. Voiceover. Yeah.
voiceover, all that type of stuff. A lot of the times it just does not work with their systems. So that kind of cuts me out of a good chunk of jobs because the voiceover or text to speech or any form of the accessibility just does not work. I
Hmm.
can't use it.
I see. I see. Well, um, all I can say is everybody would tell you this, and I know that this is frustrating, but number one, this is life. Number two, you just have to keep trying to find people who would be willing to give you a chance. It's very, very, very unfortunate that times have become so difficult, but I think they have. But one of them on a much one of the other topics on a much lighter note is that I've done a lot of traveling, and I've been to England. I lived there for 3 months. I've been to France 3 times. I've been all over Europe. And I've also done a lot of sailing in my life. I've sailed in the United States. And I want you to talk about the experiences that you've had sailing, because you've gone on a lot of, from what I heard based on the YouTube live where I saw what you were talking about in that live from a couple days ago. It sounds like you've done a lot of sailing. And I'm asking
No,
because, oh,
I've only been on 2 sailing trips.
okay. Well, why don't you tell me about those trips then? Because I want to learn
I
more
went
about them.
on. I've been on 1 sailing trip before I lost my sight,
Mm-hmm.
and that was on the Spirit of Bermuda, which is
Mm.
a sloop, and we just sailed around Bermuda for a few days. That was fun, but after I lost my sight, I was approached by a group here in Bermuda called the Bermuda Sailors Home,
Mm.
which back in the day was a group of people who pretty much put together. They would rent out their rooms and stuff like that to the sailors coming ashore on shore leave.
Mm-hmm.
They'd put the sailors up in rooms and stuff like that to provide them with a nice warm bed off the ship.
Right.
And so now what the Bermuda Sailors Home has been doing for the last year, they for the first time in February, I believe it was the first time, but in February, they sponsored 6 people from Bermuda to go on a sailing trip
Hmm.
on the tall ship Tenacious.
Right. And this is something that I have been researching. And this is with, do you want to tell us what the organization is called that actually owns that ship?
The
It's a
Jubilee
special,
Sailing Club.
you got it. You got it. Exactly. So, what can you tell me about this experience? Because I was doing some research. What happened was I've been wanting to do a sailing trip where I can be out on the open ocean and have like a real serious experience for several weeks or several days. Um, and then I was speaking to someone else on my podcast from last week who's done a lot of trips with JST, Jubilee Sailing Trust. And he
Hmm.
mentioned it, and then I researched it, and then I heard you talking about it. So basically, I'm trying to, let my audience learn about it, but I'm trying to put together, eventually, I'm trying to put together a list for myself of all of the other blind people who have participated in it so that eventually, I can put together a group for myself of all the people that I want to talk to about organizing a sailing trip, because it's going to take some organization and planning. So tell us about the whole process with going on this trip.
Well, when I uh, when did this first start? This first came about back in November of 2019. That's when this all started. I got a call from my vision rehabilitation officer, and he knew that I had been interested in a, figuring out a way to go sailing again, because I've always enjoyed it, but after I lost my sight, wasn't sure if it would be possible. So he called me one day and told me that there would be an opportunity for me to go sailing, and I just have to apply for the chance to it. So he asked me if I wanted to, and I told him yes. He put my name in the list, and I was applied for it. Then about a month later, they closed the draw, and they took a few names out of the hat, and my name came up. So I went on the sailing trip, and I tried to do a daily, sort of like a daily vlog throughout the entire trip. I recorded a few videos every few days to just show off what I was doing on the ship. But the way that the trip worked was, we left Bermuda on the 14th of February. We flew from Bermuda to Miami. We got to Miami Friday afternoon. We stayed the night in Miami. Then the next day, we flew from Miami to Antigua. And we spent Saturday night and Sunday in Antigua. And then Sunday night, we boarded the Tenacious. We got acquainted with the crew and everything, and we got put in our bunks, and then we all went out for drinks. And then we set sail on Monday morning, and the experience of sailing as a blind person, or not even just a blind person, but as a person with a disability, was exhilarating.
It really is.
It gave me the freedom that I have not felt in years. And so we had set sail Monday morning. What was it? Monday evening, we were given our watch cards, which would tell us when we go on watch and at what time. So my watch group was on. We were on watch for the 8 a.m. shift. So it was 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And by then, we had made it to our first stop on our trip, which was St. Bart's.
Mm-hmm. That, I believe, is
And
a French. That's a French colony, Saint Bart's. Yes.
yeah,
But speaking, you were mentioning how Bermuda's expensive. Saint Bart's, Saint Bart's is like ridiculously
yeah,
expensive. Saint Bart's is
I
that's up there. That's cool. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, it was nice there.
Yeah, it is.
So I was at the helm, and I brought the ship into port.
Oh my God,
So
that's exactly
that
what I
was
would
an
do. That's what I would
that
do.
was an
Yeah.
awesome experience.
Yep.
The one thing, I don't know if you've used this piece of technology before,
Mm-hmm.
but on Tenacious, they have a talking compass.
Excellent.
And so we use that for the blind people on the ship so we can also be at the helm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I brought the ship into port, and we were at St. Bart's because we were invited there to